Okay everyone, welcome back to part 2 of my review on the T-800 2.016 scale figure by Hot Toys. If you haven't checked out part 1 first, make sure you do that and then watch this one. Alright, so I've got to do the really scary thing of changing over the t-shirts, and I'll explain all about that. I mean, I didn't know about this whole setup at the bottom of the t-shirt here till I saw that figure hideout video, and I thought, uh-oh. You know, I thought it was going to be easy. But apparently, I saw in another review as well that it's very difficult to pull down these trousers. And it's a good thing I did watch that review though, because I would have probably pulled the whole belt out. Definitely don't do that. Just loosen it, but leave it kind of partially in there, and then you have to kind of unvelcro at the back of the pants and wiggle them down in order to get to that strap that's holding the t-shirt tightly in place to keep it nice and flush to his body. So I've got to do that. I'm not looking forward to it. Before I do, something I didn't really talk about in part 1 was the size of the lapels. Now, I saw other people talking about this, and I did think it myself when the blogger pictures came out. There were certain pictures that just didn't look right. It looked too big, too wide. I mean, I even mentioned that in the video, my thoughts video when the pictures came out. But yeah, it is oversized. I'll show you a little reference picture here. Now, I don't know how many jackets they used in the movie, but this one, you can see they're just a lot smaller, and yeah, it does almost hang straight down, whereas on the figure it does spread out a little bit on that side especially, and it kind of goes off over there, whereas I wish it would just sort of hang a little bit more naturally straight down. But the size of the lapels are pretty massive compared to this. I don't know. I mean, they've really honestly tried their best, I think, but it could vary from each figure, that folks are getting out there, because I did notice, like on my one, you have to make sure, and I saw in other videos, really make sure you get the back of the jacket, the collar up around the back of his neck. If you can't see that and it's down here, that's not going to look right. So you got to work with it and get that jacket collar. Let me just turn him. You've got to get it up around the back of his neck there, so that you just get a little gap between the back of the bottom of the hair and the tip of the collar. You just want that little bit of space, because it's not going to look good if you don't do that. But yeah, the collar could definitely, or the lapels could definitely have used a little work, but it could vary from figure to figure. I'll be curious to see that in more reviews as time goes on. But a fair few differences that I can notice. Oop, screen's gone black. And you can see in this image as well at the bottom of the lapels, and it's just smaller. When I come over here, it's just a little bit too much, especially on the bottom ones really. It's not so much the top. I think the top of the collar and that first edge that comes out is fine. It's this. It should be, try and cut it off where it should show, that kind of size, but it just goes on a bit too much. Right, so this, yeah, it is going to look weird, but I just have to show you this. So that's how much I've undone the belt. Obviously, don't let the end of the belt come through the buckle. Just undo it enough so you got a nice amount of room here, but do not pull that out all the way. I just don't want to do this, and I've got to do this twice. So I've got to put on the grey t-shirt, do the belt back up again, make it all tight, and then undo it again to an extent to get the black t-shirt back on for my final look, because I'm not displaying him with the grey t-shirt in my collection. It's got to be all black. So anyway, I've wiggled down the pants. We've got some Arnie butt action, so I might just wiggle them down a little bit more, because I need to get to the little buttons for this elastic strap thing. Right, I'm going to need 2 hands here, folks. Oop, it's coming down. It's coming down. I hope it's not going to be really difficult to get these back up again. Alright, so those buttons are located at the back of the t-shirt here. You see them? So that's what you're looking for when you need to undo them, with the little strap coming up his butt. So I've got that undone, and it's just hanging there. So now I'm going to remove the black t-shirt and put on the grey one. Alright, got the black t-shirt off, and I might as well show you what the body looks like. So this is it. Here's some side profile action. I mean, to be fair, that does look quite accurate to how he looked at the beginning of the film when he first shows up. Like the chest doesn't look too big there. So I don't know. Maybe the proportions on the body are not too bad at all. I'm sure there's people out there who would be more better informed than I on this particular subject. But just from memory, that doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bulky. So it's probably, I don't know. I mean, the t-shirt material is not very thick. It's quite a, well, it's not super thin or anything, but it's, you know, it feels like how it should feel. And the leather jacket's quite thin as well. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the proportions ain't too bad at all. I mean, just looking at that doesn't look bad to me. Let's check out the back, and then we'll get to work on the grey t-shirt. Putting it on, getting them all set up. Okay, I got it done. It's a bit of a pain in the butt to do. You really have to pull the pants down quite far to get the strap through the legs to come up the back here and attach to the bottom of the t-shirt. But yeah, I've got to do that again after this, get him back to his full black look. So I guess once I get these pants back up, before I put on the leather jacket, I will show you the exposed endoskeleton arm look. It's not fun. Like, getting this belt done up, it took me 3 attempts to get rid of this weird buckling effect that was happening. So, not that bit of belt, but that underneath layer. As you're pulling this through to make it tight again, that underneath layer kind of buckles under itself, and you have to keep undoing it again, and somehow hold on to 3 different parts at the same time and tighten it. It was a nightmare. Don't even do it. Like, if you're happy enough with the black, all black t-shirt look, all that, then just don't ever mess with it, because it's a friggin' nightmare. Okay, so the exposed endoskeleton arm. Nothing really moves this time, and the position that the fingers are in makes it look like a claw at a kind of fun fair when it comes down and grabs the toys. It doesn't, you can't even see that that's 5 fingers. Looks like the end of Dr. Octopus's tentacle. So it's a major downgrade from the original MMS 117 exposed endoskeleton arm. I don't know why they did the obvious joint at the elbow. It might be something to do with, if they had gone seamless, would they had enough space for this to be, you know, in there? Because it doesn't just suddenly stop. I'm assuming it kind of goes in there a little bit more. Could be maybe some of the reasoning behind it. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't seem to. It does turn a bit here, but I wouldn't go too crazy with that. Don't think it turns there, but the fingers, I mean, you can kind of see they're moving a bit because they're just plastic fingers, but they're not posable. I'm pretty damn sure they were on the original, which I owned twice, but I never really displayed them with this. As you can see, it's just the position of the fingers, it doesn't look like a hand. You know, I mean, they could have at least, you know, kind of had him like that, or close to a fist or something, because he was doing that with his hand, and you could see all the pistons moving and stuff in the movie. This is definitely not a way I would ever display him, but I guess it's cool that it's there, but it feels like a downgrade from the first attempt. And from this view, I mean, it looks nice and gory, but I'm just not happy with the position of the fingers. It looks pretty cool though. That angle looks pretty epic. I mean, obviously there's ways you can pose it and position it in your display so you don't see that joint. As we come around about here, it's looking pretty good, pretty seamless. Got more light on his exposed endo arm than I do on his seamless arm, so that's why they look different colours. Yeah, I mean, it's capable, looking pretty decent. Still don't like those fingers. It just looks like a claw. It's pretty gory, again, just like we saw on the battle damage T-800. And very, very impressive gore. Some of the best official figure released gore I've ever seen in 1/6 scale. And this is suitably bloody and gory. Just a shame the joint kind of ruins that illusion with such a realistic looking piece. Alright, Uncle Bob look achieved. We got the leather gloves on, which he does have some relaxed hands for those at least. And the grey t-shirt does break things up a bit. Just kind of separates everything, you know, from a visual standpoint. And it does give off that more friendly protector look that he had, whereas in the beginning of the movie, when he's all in black, you know, if you hadn't seen any trailers or anything like that, you could be confused as to which one was actually intending to do John Connor harm. You know, and it was pretty cool the way it was all done. And then once that was out of the way, changed the t-shirt to a grey one, and he has this slightly more approachable look. Uncle Bob. Okay, now we have the look when he blows open the door before it all kicks off at Cyberdine, and he's got the shells all around him, and the grenade launcher is over his shoulder as he prepares to get them the masks so they can breathe once the gas starts to flow. That looks really nice. With the gloves as well, completing that look. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways you can display this particular figure, and they all look really, really cool and badass, and instantly remind you of that specific scene in the film. It's nice to see that strap over his shoulder. It just adds a touch of color. The gold shells. Definitely a contender for one of the top ways to display your T-800 2.0. And let them come around one more time. Man, that looks cool. Look at that. And we got the Iron Cyst scene where they first enter Cyberdine. They all point their guns at the security guy. Yeah, that looks friggin' real. Stripped down, he doesn't have the bandolier around him at the moment, as they've only just entered the building. That looks awesome. Okay, got him set up with a minigun. It looks amazing. Takes a little bit of time to figure it all out, and the instructions are helpful for that, folks, as far as attaching the bullets and getting everything set up. I wasn't sure if the actual bag strap is supposed to be over his right shoulder over there or over the left shoulder. It does say in the instruction, but you can't actually see the bag right now. Let me just bring it around a little bit. Right, so in his bag back there, the strap that's over his left shoulder at the moment does have a magnet in there, and apparently that will magnate to this part of his shoulder here. So that's pretty interesting. I didn't know that. but it's in the instruction book. It also warns the hell out of you about the leather, so I'll leave that picture I took of the instruction book in the end of the video of all the pictures, but they stress that you've got to be super careful with the leather. I'll just show you now. So yeah, it says genuine leather is a natural material and has its growth patterns. Spots, scratches, wrinkles, indentations, uneven color, uneven thickness, etc. are normal and will not be considered as product defects. If the leather is dirty, please gently wipe it with a soft cloth. Do not wash it directly with water or rub it vigorously. See, now messing about with this belt, as thin as that is, I would consider that vigorously dicking about with that belt. So I will never do this again. As cool as it is, you know, to have him set up with the minigun and all that good stuff, I just want that all black look. So this is the only time I'm going to be doing this. So I'll get plenty of pictures for you. He does look amazing. I mean, it's justifiable getting 2 of these for sure, because having that on your shelf like that, forget about it. Look at that, man. I'm not sure what magnet they're talking about. I got the bag just kind of on his shoulder here, but I'm just not feeling. No, I'm not feeling any. Have I got it the wrong way up? I'm not feeling any magnet action. So I mean, it's in the instruction book. It says that there's a magnet somewhere, but I ain't getting it. Alright, got him loading up, and that looks really, really nice. Holds on to everything here really well, including the shell. The gold looks nice against the black and the grey and the touches of silver. Covering up his junk. Yeah, this is the last time I'm ever doing the grey t-shirt, because it's a shame. He looked really good in a lot of those poses and he looked really cool, but it's the belt. It's terrifying. So back to the black t-shirt we go. Goodbye to the cool Uncle Bob look, which was really, really nice to see, to be honest. That was, you know, don't do it to yourselves, folks. Just stick with the all black look unless you really want to go for that Cyberdine look, or when they're in the desert. You guys mind if I skip this bit, will you? I've still got to dick about with this belt one more time and get the black t-shirt on. for my final look. And I know you've seen this already in the early videos. It's pretty straightforward. You just peel away a section of his hair and you can see a little chip inside. But I still got to get this belt sorted out and try and get it to sit flush. It's a real headache. And I have a headache as well, so double headache action. Right, I'm just sitting there putting the black t-shirt back on, and it's just plain as day, this situation. If you're not like a veteran, and even if you are, this is not pleasant to do. Like, you have to stretch the hell out of this t-shirt to get it over these chunky arms, and I'm just struggling with it. Oh god, there we go. But just go into getting this 2.0 T-800 figure knowing, you know, if you love the all black look and that's the main reason you're getting it, just leave it like that and don't risk messing about with this belt. Don't risk stretching out these t-shirts trying to get it over these big sort of rubbery arms, or silicone arms I guess they are, but the material just kind of catches to it and you're constantly pinching the material trying to get it away from the skin and stuff like that. It's just not something you're going to want to deal with, honestly, and that's coming from someone who's dealt with a lot of different stuff over the years. And this is just one of those times where you think, warn folks, you know, let them know that this is not. But then again, someone else will do a video. Sorry if you can hear Kuro crinkling around beside me. You'll get other folks who'll do a video saying, oh, it's not too bad, you know, but it's not pleasant. It's not a pleasant experience. Ugh. Just so know what look you want, you know, before you get this figure. Are you going for the grey t-shirt, in which case mentally prepare for the task ahead, get some tweezers and, you know, go at it. But if you're just after that all black sweet cool look, then yeah, just leave it like that and enjoy it pristine out of the box and pose them up, do what you want, but just keep that grey t-shirt in the box. It's just not fun. I'm still dragging this t-shirt around, the black one, trying to get it fully over his arms here. It's just the silicone skin catches it so easily, and it also gets trapped under his armpits a lot as well as you're maneuvering and you have to keep digging it out. Right, black t-shirt is on. Now I've got to get the strap through his legs and attached, and then I have to deal with the belt one last time. Okay, I got everything done back up again. I'm not sure if it's as perfect looking as it was before I ever started messing with it, but it's looking okay. It's looking pretty flush. It's not a pleasant experience, folks. I'm just going to stress that one more time. Be very sure that you want to mess with that before you start doing that. Yeah, it's just even for someone who's got a fair bit of time in the game, it's one of the least fun experiences when it comes to switching over parts and outfits. It's just that belt is very thin. They say it's leather, so it should be okay, but you don't want any nasty scratches and dents in it, so be very, very careful with that. That's the only thing you really need to worry about. And if you love the all black look and you don't really have any interest in doing the grey t-shirt thing, then don't even worry about it. Just leave it alone. I just took some time to futz with the jacket and make sure, before I put the head back on for the final look that I'm going to have in my collection for the figure, just making sure that the shoulders and the collar around the back of the neck is sitting right. And I've put the plastic wrapping back on the arms. I don't know if that's going to be a good idea over a long course of time. So anyone out there who knows if that's a good idea or not, I'm just trying to protect the arms from the leather jacket. I don't know if it would stain it, probably not. I don't know. Oh, watch out for the little silver buttons on the lapels. The one in the top left corner up there, that came loose and is hanging on by a thread. So I'm going to have to get some super glue and just re-secure that one. Don't think they give you any spare buttons. They give you a set of spare wrist pegs. I didn't see any buttons in there. So be very careful with that, with all the switching around of costume parts and stuff, you know. I almost lost one of my silver buttons and that would have been not good. And I'm going to try in the future to just adjust this belt here. I want it to hang a little bit more naturally. I might have to glue it just, you know, to the edge there just to get it to fall naturally because it sticks out a little bit. I'm also thinking of gluing the buckle to sit like that rather than like that. And I'll find him some more appropriate hands for holding on to the box of roses at some point. But yep, I'm just going to put the head back on now and wrap it up for you. Final thoughts and a score out of 10. And thank you for watching the 2 parts of the reviews, folks. Thanks for taking the time, because they're both quite long. But I wanted to be as thorough as possible and bring it a nice fun review to watch. It's definitely worth picking up. Absolutely, do not hesitate and get it while you can. But I would give it an 8 out of 10, which is very good. I can't give it a 9, which would be excellent, because he doesn't come with enough hands. The jacket is gorgeous, but it could certainly be more accurate around the lapels. They're a bit oversized, a bit wide out to the side there, and the actual kind of fit of the jacket could be better as well. I mean, it really trails off to the side here, whereas it should come almost straight down, but it's just the way it's put together. But it's still excellent, but with the lack of hands and the slight inaccuracies here and there, also some slight proportion of the neck and body issues, I give it an 8 out of 10. Still well worth picking up. It's an absolutely incredible figure, and I've been taking it around the house with me since I got it on Friday, just so I can look at it as I'm going about my day. But it is a great package. You get a lot of stuff to play with. Obviously the endo arm, exposed interchangeable arm there, is a bit of a downgrade in many ways. Definitely not enough ungloved hands, but a very decent package all the same. The base is what it is. I'm glad the surface is rough, so it won't get all scratched up over time. It will always kind of look like this, which is nice. But considering how amazing the previous diorama bases were for the battle damage version and the T-1000, it's a little bit underwhelming, but it serves its purpose pretty well. It's not ugly, just could be better. If InArt were to make this 1/6 scale T-800, this particular version, what could they improve upon? Well, the overall body proportions, the neck, the chest, could use a little bit of a rethink. The size of the lapels on the leather jacket, the fit of the leather jacket around his body is a little bit awkward here. Very oversized lapels. They could definitely give us more hands that are, appropriate for holding on to what they're supposed to hold on to. So body proportions, the fit of the clothing, they could possibly go rooted hair and give us ultra realism. And I'd be very interested to see their take on his skin tone. I think Hot Toys have done a good job here, but InArt are very good at getting that just right. And anything else you guys can think of in the comments that they could improve upon, but I'd be curious to see it. But I'd really be curious to see a T-1000 by them and some Terminator 1 stuff. Just blow everyone away by announcing Kyle Reese and the Tech Noir at the same time. People would lose their shit. So yeah, that's it. Those are my thoughts. I really, really, really love the figure though, folks. I mean, it looks amazing. It looks very real. And I'm a little bit worried about those seamless arms for a pose like this, but I think I'm just going to have to risk it because he's too cool, in this pose not to have like that on my shelf. So yeah, 8 out of 10. Definitely pick it up. Thank you again for the likes and comments on the review, and I hope you're all doing okay. Got some great stuff coming up for you in the future, so keep it locked, subscribe, and check me out on Instagram, D-Night333. All the pictures up on there, and let me know what you think of the figure and are you going to pick it up, and which one are you going to get. If you're only going to get one, this one or the battle damage version. Me personally, it's just personal, I would definitely get this one. I just think this look right here is so strong, such a presence. It's such, so is the battle damage one, don't get me wrong, it absolutely is. It's just a personal kind of like memory attachment to this thing in front of me. That was just the coolest thing ever when I was 12, and just ever since, it's just such an iconic badass look. Alright folks, thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye bye.